So inflation is going through the roof, but you don't need to be a rocket scientist. You just have to not be wheeled into your nursing home room at 10 o'clock in the morning to understand what's really going on. Are you better off than you were a year ago? By 4-1, Americans say no. Generally speaking, is your family better off today than it was 1 year ago, worse off than it was 1 year ago, or about the same? Fewer than 1 in 5 said they were better off, while more than twice that number, 42%, said they were worse off. Another 36% said they were about the same. Here's what I find incredible to me. Why would Democrats be in better shape than they were a year ago? Because Democrats, they say about the same, 42%, worse off 26%, and better off 29%. There's really nobody even close to those numbers. That's the Democrats. Republicans, 31% say about the same, 56% say worse off, and 11% say, better. Independents, very close to Republicans. Independents, 33% about the same, 48% worse off, 17% better off. Why is that? Why is that? Other than, let me show you this. Conservatives, 32%. 32% are about the same. 43% of conservatives say they're worse off. 19% say they are, sorry, have the wrong ones. Conservatives, 32% about the same. 49% worse off. 18% about the same. Well, liberals, 44% about the same, 29% worse off, 26% better. How is that possible other than you're just listening to the news and gauging what you're seeing in the news and not what's happening in your pocketbook? How's it possible?
I mean, there's always a partisan influence on these types of polls. So that could be part of the factor. But I mean, it's hard to hide this stuff from people. They know when they're paying a lot more for things. They are aware of it. This is not something you can spin your way out of. No. We're talking about like, hey, taxes or minimum wage or things like that are like economic policies we discuss all the time when it comes to our politics. You can find a study here, a study there that supports you. You can't find a study that says $7 is less than $4.
You can in Common Core.
In Common Core math, you can.
As long as you show your work, you can.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's true.
Now, the president said yesterday there's going to be a new world order, and America has to lead it. Now, those are trigger words, a new world order. Here he is. Listen.
We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people died, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
So this is him speaking yesterday at a open business conference, but he had a closed-door business conference, according to the New York Post and The Hill. He joined along with cabinet secretaries. They met with CEOs from a number of major corporations, J.P. Morgan Chase, Visa, Bank of America, Land O'Lakes, Cargill, Dow Chemical, U.S. Steel, ConocoPhillips, ExxonMobil, and the clean energy giant Pattern, which I've never heard of. So it was not on his schedule, but he met with people. We don't know what they talked about other than we have to create new, good-paying union jobs, lower the cost for working families, and tackle the climate crisis. Now, there's a story from Fox Business, and you'll find one very similar to it in CNBC today. Experts say American shoppers will begin to see higher grocery bills as the war in Ukraine threatens global food supplies. As the war continues to ravage Ukraine, Americans, particularly those living paycheck to paycheck, are beginning to feel the financial squeeze. Really, they're just beginning. These people in New York are so out of touch. I mean, wasn't it Bloomberg that came out and said, if you make less than $300,000, you're going to feel the pinch more? Right. And $300,000? I mean, isn't that really bad inflation when you could make $300,000 a year and you're feeling it?
I mean, people are saying, well, not everybody makes $300,000 a year. In fact, only a small portion of people make that much money. However, if we continue with these policies, we'll all make $300,000 a year real soon.
Real soon.
Everyone will.
Yeah.
In Zimbabwe, they were making trillions a year.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It'll be great.
It'll be great. But in that Bloomberg report, if you make $300,000 a year, here's what you do. Take the bus. Oh, is that what I do? No. Take the bus? Well, I don't have a bus that is anywhere near my neighborhood that would go take me here to the studios. Most people don't have a bus system like that until you get into town. And stop eating meat. Stop eating meat. Stu, you don't eat meat.
Oh,
it's so cheap when you're a vegetarian.
It's so cheap to not eat meat. Let me tell you, as America's only conservative vegetarian, I will tell you that not eating meat is not a cheap way to go.
No.
The food that they are making that actually tastes halfway decent, you're spending for. It's not a cheap way to live. Now, yes, you can get bags of lentils that are dry and probably shove them down your throat, and you can probably stay alive doing that. But as far as how people would actually eat if they stop eating meat, it's not cheaper. You're not doing it because you're saving money. It's you're doing it for other reasons.
They suggested that you give up meat and eat lentils.
Yeah, right. They did say lentils, which I guess if you go to the dry storage area of your grocery store and shovel out a bag of lentils. This is
what they're saying today.
Right. Well, the bugs are coming. They're not.
I know. The bugs are absolutely coming.
You want that cheap protein.
Yeah, eat bugs.
Eat the bugs. That's the way you do it. Yeah, that's an amazing one, too. And it's such a dumb observation. If you make less than $300,000, it'll be easier. If you put any number in there, it's always true. If you make less than $8, it will be easy. It will be harder to deal with. It's always harder to deal with when you make less money. It's such a stupid point. This is why, by the way, people try to make more money. Right? Mm-hmm. This is why you attempt to do in your life, so that when you have problems, you're able to deal with them more easily and afford more things that you want and need.
Now,
always true.
I'm going to take it to, why are we still listening to these people? Going to go there in 60 seconds. Stand by. So here's the good news. The Calvary is coming, Stu. Okay.
Are they?
Yes.
Good.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell said inflation is just too high.
What?
Yeah.
Are you? Is he sure?
Why are we still listening to these people? Aren't these the ones that said doesn't exist? We're worried about deflation. Then it was transitory. Then it was it's transitory. It's no big deal. Okay, it looks like it's here, but it's going to be over by the end of the year.
It's all supply chain. It's all COVID.
Oh my
gosh. All Russia. Every single excuse in the book has been used on this one.
It's really no help when leaders tell you the things you already know. It would have been good if you were a leader of the Fed. It would have been good to come out a year ago and say the things we're doing right now are causing inflation. The things that we've been doing for the last few years causing inflation. And what we're doing right now is really going to stir things up. We're going to have crippling inflation. We need to start making a move now. In America, you need to start preparing. But they don't do that. Nobody prepares you for anything. Nobody prepares you for anything. We are now in a war with Russia. China is going the other way, and it's about Ukraine. Joe Biden took money from Ukraine, Russia, and China. Our president has been compromised? What decisions is he making? And is any of it based on the millions of dollars that he has received? Nobody's even asking that question. You weren't prepared to answer that question because the average American who just heard the media tell you that, oh, the laptop is bullcrap, there's nothing to that. They didn't give you now any time for what could be happening, what could be going on in our administration with a compromised president. Now it'll come to as a surprise to a lot of people. Wait, what? Hold it. Just say, because they're still only saying this is about income taxes. This has nothing to do with hookers, crack, or income tax. This has everything to do with the president of the United States getting paid for favors while he was in office last time.
It's very true, by the way. And I should mention on Stu Does America Tonight, the fantastic show on Blaze TV and wherever you get your podcasts, I will have Peter Schweizer on the show.
Oh, good.
He is talking about, he was, of course, one of the guys who broke this story, one of the people who's gone through, he has the laptop. He's gone through the entire thing. He has all sorts of details that nobody else has. One of the interesting things he's saying is the acknowledgement of this laptop from the New York Times. He believes is the Biden administration bracing for an indictment of Hunter Biden. He thinks that that's actually coming. He's going to explain it tonight.
Of Hunter Biden, great, wonderful. But what about Attorney General Barr, who just came out and said, I knew the president, Biden, was lying while he was on stage, and he said this was Russian disinformation. Then, Mr. Attorney General, why didn't you say something to the American people? Were you saving it for your frickin' book? Is there anyone that will tell America the truth because it's the right thing to do?